Hey guys, it's John. I'm back. I decided to go on down the list of topic ideas again that have come from the comments. Keep bringing them on. I'm always looking for more, just because I'm down to half a page of topics now, so I need to start filling my topics back up. It doesn't always have to be about the past life. Let's talk about how we can, principles that we can work with now are always very good to talk about. So let me just go to the top of the list and just start working my way down. I may put a couple of these topics in one video because I just think some of them are not that long of a topic. Question is, I believe in reincarnation, but I'm trying to understand how we can do it. Welcome to the mystery of mysteries. We all wondered how we can do some of the things we hear the avatars and gurus of old did. And it's an interesting thing, but what I'd like to do is share an interesting story about one of the times that I was trying to do astral travel, go out of body, basically, and ended up, as I was going out of body, somehow I bypassed the place of going out of body and went to a place that was just a pure white expanse. And I was standing there, and it was the strangest experience because the second it happened, I literally felt like an infant, like I was just in awe of everything I saw, and I was like I didn't know anything, right? And standing there in front of me was someone who was a man who was wise beyond my comprehension. And he just kind of smiled at me. He says, "You're not supposed to be here yet," and sent me back. The reason I bring this up with this question of, believe in resurrection, is if you think about the experience I'm talking about, think about the experience I had. I was leaving my body. I was setting my body behind when he said I'm not supposed to be here yet, and I ended up back in my body. So what was going on with my body while I was gone? What was going on with my body when I was having the experience on the other side? And I would say what was going on with my body might have been dead, for all I know. I have no idea. But what is resurrection? Taking up the body again. So I think the concept of resurrection is got a hair stuck in my glasses. I think the concept of resurrection is much like a lot of the other experiences of, Joshua and a lot of the others as well. It's a big, daunting, esoteric thing. But in some form, it's got to be far simpler, because I left my body and I went to somewhere and saw someone who was wiser, and it wasn't dream state because I was very active in what I was doing. I think that the idea of how do we do it, how we can do it. First of all, why would you want to? That's an interesting question. Why would you want to resurrect? Everybody who talks about near-death experiences, when they go across to the other side, they always talk about how they don't ever want to come back because it's so great over there, right? So that's the first question. Why would you want to? Second question is that, are you focused on resurrecting because you don't want to be here now and you want to go away and come back? Because that's a concept you need to think about for yourself and assess where you are in that moment. How I got out of body in the first place is an interesting perspective on how you, quote unquote, resurrect. So the idea that your consciousness can leave the body is foundational in a lot of metaphysical and spiritual traditions. Less so in Christian religions because of the fact that they're very based in the idea that, you are just a lowly person and people, and Jesus was the one who could do those things. But Jeshua, the man, said, greater works than I have done you will do. He's the one who is telling us that we all have this potential. So how do I get out of body? There's a method that you use for getting out of your body that is so simple. It's so ridiculous. It's so ridiculously simple. Lay flat on your back or get very, very comfortable. I found it easier to lay flat on my back, just like I'm lying in bed. Focus all of your attention on your feet. Focus all of your attention on your feet. And what I want you to do is once you get to that place where you're focused all your attention on your feet, I want you to think about warming your feet up. Just warm your feet up. Focus all that attention on warming your feet up. And you will experience a thing where your feet will, first of all, almost like tingle, and then you'll start to feel the warmth. Right? And then what I want you to do is I want you to decide that you're moving that heat up your legs. And as you're moving that heat up the legs, you're going to get more and more focused on the next place on your body. So suddenly you're going to go up from your feet to your shins. Now your shins are starting to tingle and get very warm. Then you focus up to the knees, and the knees start to tingle. What you realize when you get up around the knees is that you don't feel your feet anymore. And that's fine, because you're so focused on the knees and warming the feet up. Your feet are not there anymore, because you've left that part of your feet, that part of your body. You've left that part. Now you go up to your thighs, and you're feeling that experience, and you're enjoying this moment. Pardon me. So relaxing. Then you get up to your pelvis, and you move right on up. And then what's going to happen for most people? They get up to their chest, and then there's a moment in there where they've got to move from their heart center into their head center, and there's usually a little bit of I would say prolonged time there, but some people say there's a struggle there. I don't invest in struggle, but we'll say this: once you get to there and you want to move up into here, what you want to do is you want to relax. Keep focus on it, but relax into it. Let it go. It will rush into your head. Now, of course, the whole time you're doing this, your eyes are closed, right? It'll rush into your head, and then you'll have this heat coming into your face and in your head, and then you'll just push that heat and energy out the top of your head. And when you do that process, what happens is the first time I did it, I literally was looking at my body sleeping. And I say sleeping, I mean, that's what it looked like from where I was, but I was looking down at my body. The second time I did it, I was not only up out of my body, but I was very consciously aware that I was out of my body and that I could do things, and I could do and see things. And so I did a little exploration of the campground that I was in at the time. And then the third time I decided to see if I can go away from the campground. And I went all the way to Delaware in 5 minutes. It normally would have been a 2-hour drive, and I did it in 5 minutes, right? So I had these experiences, and you may have heard me tell the story about visiting my friend's house there. So when I finally got to the point where I was doing it again, and I bypassed the being here conscious in this area, in this plane, and stepped into that next area, it was an accident. I accidentally went there. But now I know that you can actually get there this time around here, right? And not only can you get there, but you can get back. You can come back and bring yourself back into the body and experience. And I believe Jeshua and Buddha and many others understood this principle of leaving and taking up form again. There's I don't remember where it is in the Bible. I'm sure it's in the New Testament somewhere because that's the only one that talks about Jesus. But it was after his resurrection, people came running to touch him, and he said, "Don't touch me yet. I'm not fully back." Right? He was in more of a vision than. So he was manifesting his body back into form. Now, when you look at Hindu mystics and things like that, there's lots of stories of gurus who send their consciousness and form their body around their consciousness. So that is resurrection. As with all things, it takes practice. I'm very lucky. I fell into some things, but that happened. That happened probably over 30 years ago. And I still practice those things, but not as frequently. I don't feel the need as much to practice those things because I'm finding that being here and living here, the principles, is more fulfilling to me. It's just more fulfilling to me. But I know I can cross over. I know I can go to those places and meet those people who know more than me. Meet those entities, those spirits, those whatever it is you're bumping into. Now, when people hear this story from me, they always ask me if it was Jesus. It didn't look like Jesus. It looked like a normal guy, but I just didn't look like him at all. But I think the broader idea of the consciousness, and specifically the combined consciousness of all of us, is more likely what I was tapping into. The visual of a person is less about the physical person and more about my belief when I got there. And when they talk about near-death experiences, people cross over and they get to the other side, and Christians see Christians, and Hindus see Shiva, and so the illusion around the divine continues to the other side, and I think it continues to the other side, and then you transition out of it. And why do I say those things? Because there's also people who've gone over there and had an entirely different experience where they weren't religious, and they go there and they're like having experiences that are very, nature oriented or something. There was a young girl who had 2 near-death experiences, and the first one, she met Jesus, and in the second one, she met Shiva. Well, she had no religious tradition at all, and she saw 2 different avatars of 2 different schools of thought. So I think the universe, consciousness, yada yada, surrounds us as we cross over with the model or the paradigms that we've created around spirituality, around our own personal spirituality. But I think eventually you transition out of the needed illusion and get more into the reality of feeling. And I think once you get into the reality of feeling, the illusion is no longer necessary. That's just my intuition saying that. But I have gone over to the other side, and I have seen someone, and someone did tell me I wasn't supposed to be there yet, and I came back. So resurrection, can we do it? Sure. All you need to do is start practicing. All you start doing is believing things are possible, because that's what creates into your experience, the belief. So believe that if you want to resurrect, you have to figure out how to get out before you can resurrect. You have to figure out how to go outside a body so that you can come back to body, because that's what resurrection is. So have Have fun. Go out and play. Enjoy. Experience your divinity. Experience your expanded self. Experience you as a much broader aspect of everything, of a whole. You know, everybody that you meet in your day is a representation of what you bring to this world. And the reason that is the case is because of the fact that they're connected to you. They're part of you. They are representing some belief. And, you know, you have the ability to go out and play in different dimensions just by believing, just by being in that space. You guys have a great day, and I'll talk to you soon. See you. Bye.